Before he was a pillar of the church, before thousands listened to his voice, before history remembered his name, he was just a fisherman, Simon, a man who smelled like salt water and sweat, a man who knew nets better than scriptures, a man who understood storms but not destiny. The Sea of Galilee was his world, predictable, rhythmic, honest, fish, sell, survive, repeat. Until one morning, after a long night of failure, everything changed. They had caught nothing, no profit, no success, just exhaustion. And that's when Jesus stepped into his boat. Not a synagogue, not a palace, a fishing boat. Jesus told him to cast the nets again. Professionally, it made no sense. Emotionally, it felt pointless. But Simon said something that would define his life. "Because you say so, I will." The nets tore under the weight of blessing. Boats nearly sank, and Simon fell to his knees. "Depart from me, Lord. I am a sinful man." The first thing Peter ever truly understood about Jesus was not power, it was holiness. And Jesus answered with words that would echo through history. "Do not be afraid. From now on, you will catch men." That day, he left everything: security, identity, routine. Simon began to die. Peter began to rise. Following Jesus was not glamorous, it was confusing. Miracles happened, yes. Blind eyes opened, demons fled, crowds followed. But Peter was still impulsive, still loud, still human. When Jesus asked, "Who do you say I am?" Others hesitated. Peter didn't. "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Bold, immediate, unfiltered. Jesus answered, "Blessed are you, and upon this rock I will build my church." In one moment, revelation. In the next, rebuke. When Jesus spoke about his coming suffering, Peter pulled him aside. "Never, Lord," Jesus responded sharply. "Get behind me, Satan." The same mouth that declared divine truth now resisted divine purpose. Peter was a contradiction, and then came the storm. The night the wind screamed and the boat shook. The disciples saw a figure walking on water. Terror gripped them, but Peter said, "Lord, if it's you, command me to come." And Jesus said, "Come." Peter stepped out. For a moment, impossibility obeyed him. Water held him, faith carried him, until fear interrupted. He looked at the wind, at the waves, at reality, and he sank. But sinking was not the end. "Lord, save me." And immediately, Jesus grabbed him. Peter learned something critical that night. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is obedience in spite of it. Time passed, miracles multiplied. But so did tension. The religious leaders grew hostile, the atmosphere darkened. And then came the night of the Last Supper. Jesus said the words Peter refused to believe. "Before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times." Peter was offended. "Even if all fall away, I never will." Confidence is loud before testing. In Gethsemane, when soldiers arrived, Peter drew a sword, cut off a servant's ear. Jesus healed the ear and surrendered. Peter followed at a distance. Distance is always the first step toward denial. In the courtyard, under firelight, a servant girl looked at him. "You were with him. I don't know what you're talking about." Again, "You are one of them." "I am not." A third time, and then the rooster crowed. Jesus turned, their eyes met, and Peter broke. The strongest voice among the disciples collapsed in tears. Failure tastes bitter, and Peter drank it fully. After the crucifixion, everything felt over. The Messiah was dead, hope was buried, and Peter returned to fishing, back to the sea, back to what felt safe. But resurrection disrupts retreat. One morning after another empty night, a voice from shore said, "Cast the net on the right side." The nets filled again. John whispered, "It is the Lord." Peter didn't wait for the boat. He jumped into the water, swam toward grace. On the shore, a charcoal fire burned, the same kind of fire where he denied Jesus. Jesus asked him 3 times, Do you love me? 3 denials, 3 restorations. No lecture, no humiliation, just restoration. Feed my sheep. Peter was not disqualified. He was refined. Failure broke his pride. Grace rebuilt his calling. Then came Pentecost. Jerusalem was loud, wind roared, tongues of fire rested upon them, and Peter preached, not timid, not uncertain, bold. This Jesus whom you crucified, God has made both Lord and Christ. 3,000 believed. The man who denied publicly now proclaimed publicly. Healing followed, opposition followed, imprisonment followed. Peter and John stood before the same council that condemned Jesus. By what power do you do this? Peter answered without shaking. There is no other name under heaven given to men by which we must be saved. They recognized something. These men have been with Jesus. That was the difference. Not education, not status, presence. Peter's journey did not end in comfort. Tradition holds that during persecution under Emperor Nero, he was arrested in Rome, condemned to die by crucifixion. But Peter made one final request. He did not consider himself worthy to die the same way as his Lord. So he asked to be crucified upside down. The fisherman who once feared a servant girl now faced death without flinching. Upside down, the world inverted, but faith upright. Peter's life is not the story of perfection. It is the story of transformation. He sank, he denied, he wept, he failed, but he returned, he repented, he stood again, and God used him. The church was not built on flawless men. It was built on surrendered ones. Peter proved something powerful. Your worst moment does not cancel your calling. Your fear does not define your future. Your failure does not erase your destiny. The fisherman became a foundation. The denier became a preacher. The broken man became a bold witness. And history never forgot his name, not because he was perfect, but because he was restored. If this story moved you, remember, God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called, and sometimes the loudest failure becomes the strongest testimony. Peter's saga is not just history, it is hope.